is the Worst of the RIOT podcast for 2022. We're doing 5 of these.
Yes,
right?
5
So this is the first
special
of many. And so this is a look back. This one will be the early part of 2022, a whole entire year ago we're looking at.
So do we think when you think back to last early part of the year, was that a hopeful time of the year, or do we feel like it was still a bad year and we didn't see it coming, or what do we think?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, Nikki, because Isaiah, you've curated this list of what we talked about at this time last year, and the top story was Americans are less optimistic about 2022.
Isn't that crazy?
So I guess we weren't feeling so good.
I don't think we were.
On January 2nd or so, January 3rd, it looks like, of 2022.
I feel like it was still optimistically wise, maybe a better year than people thought. But, I guess we'll go through the entire podcast and actually see what we thought for real.
Yeah, I had a great year. This was one of my best years ever, I would say. I guarantee that by when we roll back January 6th or whatever coming up in 2023, we could probably find a story that says Americans are less optimistic about 2023.
Yeah,
just like they were.
I think our optimism just keeps going down.
All these negative people, I'm sure that every year they're like, this isn't going to be my year. But for me, 2023 is my year. I'm so excited.
You're ready.
But during this podcast, we talked about some weird roommate stories.
Yeah, we had some good ones, I remember. They were mostly mine,
Do
right?
you remember?
I do. I remember.
I do remember you telling some really
Was that
good
the one
stories.
with your one roommate who lived in the living room or whatever?
Yeah.
And took his girlfriend to the concert and left her there?
Yes.
Yep. I think those are 2 different roommates, but yes. I had a few good roommates, and I remember this because I was like, you guys must have had roommates. Isaiah lives with a roommate right now, so you must have some good roommate stories, and I believe you guys dropped the ball on me.
No, I never.
No, I said some.
I never had a roommate.
I think I said at least one.
I
think I said one.
You can't because you live actively still with your current roommate.
Maybe I told an old one, about one of my old roommates.
I don't think you did.
I had to have told at least one story,
Either
right?
you're protecting them, or they weren't that bad, which
I've
I find
had
hard
good
to
roommates.
believe.
I've had good roommates for the most part. I've only had one roommate that was a little bit bad.
Yeah.
He dropped my PlayStation from a very high level in the dorm room one year.
Was he
what
just
were the
trying to joke or
repercussions of
something?
that?
No, he was so what happened was he was trying to hook up his Xbox and my PlayStation was already hooked up, and somehow he knocked it off.
Yeah.
In the process, I think the cord or something pulled it off.
Yeah.
And it dropped from probably 8 feet. Maybe 10 feet.
Why was your PlayStation so high?
Because it was how the room was set up. It was weird, and
How could you even reach that?
See, it wasn't about reaching it because I didn't have to. I had the controller.
It was more like you're just putting it out of the
I
way.
was just getting it out of the way, because it was in a dorm room too, so it was a weird setup. It dropped from that high up, and I remember getting the text. I was in class at the time.
Oh, no.
And he was like, your PlayStation dropped, and I knew in my mind where it was, and I was like, it's so high up. There's no way it's not destroyed. And the only thing that broke on it was the power button.
Aww.
But thankfully, on the controller, you can turn it on from the controller, so it was okay.
Wow.
But he was like, if you want me to buy you a new one, I can buy you a new one. I didn't make him do it, but I was upset.
Well, listen, on his way out, that's when you should have got him buy you a new one.
Yeah, after the
You're
year's
too
been
nice.
over, it's not really working all that well. I'll take another one, please. Now that the PlayStation 5's out.
2 things on that. One, a testament to the fine quality of products put out by Sony.
I know,
Nice.
incredible.
That would survive that. 2, you definitely did not tell that story previously.
I didn't tell that one.
Yeah.
That's why I told it now.
Well, listen, we can't do this whole Worst of RIOT 2022 podcast of the things we should have said
I
the
know.
first time with it.
Maybe that's
We'll
a
never
better
get through
podcast.
these. Well, anything else to highlight? Otherwise, some of this will just be hopefully if you're a new listener, a peek back at this year that you maybe missed. But if you're a longtime listener, just a fun look back at some of our favorite moments from earlier this year.
I just think it's fun I'm looking at the list, and I could tell you what the headlines are.
Yeah.
But they don't even mean anything to me. And
You have to
I
go
talked
back
about
into
it, so you're
listening.
just going to have to listen, and it'll be a fun surprise for all of us.
All right, so first of the Worst of RIOT of 2022 podcast is ready to start.
Catch you next time.
Have a good day.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
How are we feeling about 2022?
So far, I guess, when you're 3 days in,
Yeah.
pretty good.
It hasn't been so bad so far, right?
Even though for a lot of us, today's the first real day
Yeah, this
to
is the
experience
test.
it. This is going to be the hardest.
Well, I have a poll here about how people are feeling heading into 2022. and it turns out that people are actually more fearful and less optimistic about 2022, like to start the year, than they were about 2021 when we started 2021. So 1 year ago, we are feeling like, hey, 2021 is going to be a great year. At least more so than we feel 2022 is going to be a great year.
I think now we're just more comfortable in knowing that it's all bad anyways.
Yeah.
So what are we going to get?
This is an Axios poll that they do every year. So they say that in 2021, when we were going into that year, it's not that we're more fearful and less optimistic this year. It's not that we are. It's not that is bizarre compared to other years. It's the 2021 starting last year was the bizarre year because I guess with COVID ending and stuff like that, we thought we are so
and then it wasn't.
we are abnormally optimistic starting last year.
Sure.
According to the survey, where now this year we're going back to normal. Back to the normal amount of optimism, which is not that much.
Well, I guess I can't really remember 100%, but I feel like I remember last Christmas it was all it was bad at Christmas, but then it'll be better right after because we just can't get together as like family and friends.
If you remember, at that time last year, we were just getting the vaccine. So I think a lot of people that was the end to them of the pandemic is over. We missed out on a lot of stuff, but now we get to have a fun year again.
Well, and then going into this Christmas, if you watch anything with news or if you stay, on top of it, I feel like we've just been hit with so much negative stuff that they could have done a little better job.
Yeah.
And maybe throwing in some positive stuff. So I feel like everybody's probably more down than just coming off of all that.
Yeah. When you're looking at the actual numbers, they say 54% of people surveyed said they are more fearful than hopeful for what's to come in 2022.
Well,
44% was the opposite.
I also feel like this is not our style because if anybody came up to me to ask me about a survey, I would automatically be distrusting.
You would?
Just nervous because I just don't do those.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe we're more positive, but the study just shows more negative.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that too because they also say another thing was 51% specific to the U.S. say they think the U.S. will be more like going downhill. They're more fearful than hopeful for how things are going to be in the U.S. And I think to myself, like for the U.S. and the world as a whole, if you're asking me how things are going to be, I don't think things are going to get greatly better. Like, I don't know. I just don't. I guess you could call me pessimistic, but I just don't.
Yes, Mr. Pessimistic.
Yeah, I just don't think that the trajectory doesn't really feel great. I don't remember a time where I've been like, things are getting better across the world. Things just seem to be getting globally better. But that doesn't mean that I don't think, like, day to day, I don't think I'm pessimistic. You know what I mean? I think for my life, I think things will be fine. I think for people's, for people's lives in general, people are going to be fine. It's just, is the world going in a great direction in the next year? I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's dumpster fire like, but
no.
I feel like
it's just always something though, and it's always like that.
With your resolutions, maybe a good one is to be more positive.
Yeah, whether it's day to day or big picture.
No, I don't even look at big picture.
You don't
anymore.
even want to look at
Don't even look at big picture. Close your eyes.
You can't be pessimistic if you don't think about it.
If there's nothing to look at, just work on the day to day small things that are more manageable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, find the little joy.
The Riot's X-rays just came in, and they all got that dog in them. RadioU.
It is the time of year for New Year's resolutions, of course. Now, for Nikki and Isaiah and I, our resolutions all seem to revolve around our eating habits. But for many others...
Don't tell everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you listen to the show, you can tell that we have some eating issues that we need to work through.
Hey, that's a bold statement.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I would say we have a pretty happy eating life,
So.
That's the problem. We get too happy when we eat. We need to.
I think there's just so many opportunities, you know.
Good call. You really put a negative spin on it, Hudson.
Yeah.
I don't think we should do negative stuff with food.
If we're making a change and we're trying to make a positive change, that means we must have been doing something negative before.
No, you feel like you have to find something. So right?
Sure. You got to go with something, obviously.
For a lot of people, not us, it involves your New Year's resolution involves going back to the gym or going to the gym for the first time. And so that's why I've invited specifically Isaiah in as the only person here who has stepped foot in a gym, I'd say, anytime recently.
Are you still working out?
Yep, I still go every day, every single day.
So then you should be able to tell us and anybody else who might be new to the gym some gym etiquette tips.
See, I think that right now, if you've been going to the gym, this is the worst time to go to the gym.
So I've heard.
Because in January, like obviously everybody's New Year's resolution, a lot of them is to go back to the gym. So now the gym is like more packed than ever, like 10 times more packed than it ever is. Like usually if I go anytime other than 5 o'clock p.m., I'm good. Like there's not going to be a lot of people there. But yesterday I went like 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. and it is just packed pretty much 24/7 right now. But a lot of people that like are new to going to the gym, the main things that I would say is like 2 things. The only things that you really have to worry about when you're in the gym, number 1, nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares what you're doing. So if you're going to the gym for the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, people know that I'm new here. Everybody's new at the gym right now and nobody's paying attention to you. Everybody that goes there every day is just focusing on themselves so you don't have to feel like self-conscious at the gym.
So pause. So that means that your gym etiquette doesn't matter. You can just leave stuff, not wipe it down, just do whatever, hog a machine. You can do whatever you want. Nobody's paying attention.
I wouldn't say that. But if you feel like you look dumb, no one's probably noticed that you're doing anything wrong or that you've been standing around trying to figure out what you're trying to do for more than anybody else is.
I feel like it's if you ever go on vacation, like have you ever gone and you're like, I don't want to look like a tourist.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I live here. So for gym etiquette and for if you're, now going back, a lot of people feel like you really want to look like you've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
And you're not new to gym. You're not on vacation there.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I would say is just like personal space. Just make sure you're giving everybody enough room.
Yeah.
Don't get too close to people. As long as you're not like in my personal space, then you're not going to bother me. Doesn't matter what you do in your area. As long as you're not inside of mine doing anything weird, then I'm going to be cool with you.
Well, that's not very supportive.
Yeah, you know what? I thought that was pretty good advice. Come on, just give me my space, and no one's paying attention to you as long as you're not in their space.
I kind of like Isaiah's rules, actually, because they're very simple. Where I have a list here, and this is from the CEO or COO of Lifetime. Like, that's Lifetime Fitness, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And he's got 7 rules for gym etiquette. That's too much to remember. Isaiah's is just nobody cares what you're doing, so that means you can do whatever you want as long as you just leave everybody else alone.
Exactly.
Which that is a big rule. Don't talk to people at the gym.
No, don't talk to people.
But what does the other guy say? Is there anything else?
Well, of course, the number 1 rule is the golden rule. Just treat others
like
as you would want to be treated. He also says don't. Not just about hogging one machine and just sticking on it, but like some people will get in a rotation where they're kind of moving between the same few machines, but not really letting other people work in between them when they're not using one particular machine, or if you're between sets or something, let other people get a set in while you take a breather or work on something else. He says, this one is odd to me. Don't talk on the phone, he says, in common areas. I don't feel like that's like he says it could disrupt other people's workouts.
No.
Most people have headphones anyways. What's the big deal?
It's annoying when it feels like someone has taken a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
When they're supposed to be working out.
Especially loudly.
Yeah.
That one's weird.
Have you experienced that?
I think if you're like on the phone, especially like if you, mine is like if you're in the way. If you're like talking on the phone and you're sitting on a bench, or if you're like on a machine and you're sitting there talking, I'm like, dude, what are you doing right now? Like this place is packed anyway. And same thing like with the time thing, like don't waste other people's time.
He also says keep quiet areas like the locker room, sauna, and steam room relaxing. So
don't go take your call in there.
Yeah, definitely not. Don't take a call at the gym.
Don't do it.
He says wear appropriate attire, which it's funny that my mind initially goes to, like, what does he care if I wear jeans? But, that's not what he means.
No one cares if you wear jeans, Hudson. If you want to wear jeans, you can wear them.
I'm pretty sure people will care. I mean, they're not going to, like, call you out, but they're going to notice if you're wearing jeans.
Yeah, if you're wearing jeans. I do
believe.
Sometimes they don't want you to wear, like, streetwear.
Don't be too revealing or anything like that. Don't create a polarizing environment, and this rule goes for everywhere right now. Stay home if you're sick.
There you go.
So those are your gym etiquette tips. If you're getting back in the gym, good for you.
Sounds like there's too much, though, which then sounds like we shouldn't be going.
Again, that's why I like Isaiah's.
Yeah,
Keep
nobody's going to even notice.
Lifetime COO Jeff Zwintel has too many too many things to remember. Just go to the gym and be nice to everybody.
I feel
There you
pressure
go.
now.
Yeah.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, something was crossing my mind recently, and that is just how weird it is to live with roommates, especially when you first, like those things that you realize you've been living in your family's household and the way they do things, and then you're have to live with somebody else who's from a different household and they do different things, like completely different the way in their house. And so I had these thoughts of all these stories of weird roommates. And so I want to hear everybody else's because I know we all have them. So you can text in at 8772 RadioU if you've got a good one.
Especially hard if your roommate is not someone that, like, if you just had to find a roommate.
Yeah.
So it's not like you were
Yes.
friends
Not a
or
friend that you
anything.
knew
They're like, yeah,
beforehand.
you're not close to him. If you're not close to your roommate, then
That's
it's like a
weird.
whole. But there's a bunch of other things you have to cross over before, like, you actually feel comfortable with them. There's like 3 kinds of roommates that are bad roommates. You have like one like that isn't clean. You have one that's like maybe like aggressive or passive aggressive,
Yeah.
or one that's like super shy and just is always in their room and like doesn't want anything to do with you. And more than likely, you've probably lived with at least one of those kind of people.
Yeah, and if you've lived with enough roommates, you probably live with them all. So
Yeah.
Isaiah, I know that you did 4 years of college.
Yeah.
And you now live with a roommate too.
But he's your friend.
So,
Yeah.
So you must, after all of that, must have some good roommate stories.
Yeah, my roommates in college, for the most part, were all like really good. Like I would consider them all my friends now. At the time, like I had one roommate that was like a random roommate that ended up working out like pretty nice. Like we were very different, but it ended up being pretty good. And then I lived with a couple of my friends like my senior year, and that was good. But definitely the one that I lived with the most was like the uncleanliness, also like hygiene. Like one of my roommates was very like not hygienic. Like, I mean, if he brushed his teeth in the morning, it was like a very special day, like that kind of thing. Which for me, I'm like, well, you know, my mom kind of raised me to brush my teeth every morning before bed and in the morning too. So that was one that was like a big hurdle, as well as like dishes in the sink not being cleaned, which again for me was like, oh my gosh, can we like get rid of these? This is getting gross. I'm constantly cleaning up after my roommates
Right.
type deal. But for the most part, it's pretty good. And then my roommate now, I can't complain about him like on air because obviously like he listens to a lot of stuff we say. But he's also he's clean, and I mean he's like one of my best friends. So now it's this is my best roommate yet.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys probably have it pretty well set up.
Yeah, but the
It's-
uncleanliness was a lot for
It's
me.
funny. I used to, on your note of like the not clean roommates, there's a whole spectrum of that because there is like the people that do not want to clean whatsoever, and you're just surprised at how dirty they can live. But then there's also the other end
How
where they're
long they
super
can be
clean.
so dirty?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I mean like the people that are super clean.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had a roommate when I first started at Radio U. And I actually we had several roommates in the house at the same time. It was one guy that was living with, like, I guess it was his fiance at the time. And I remember him like getting upset with her. He wouldn't talk to the rest of us about dishes and stuff, but with her, he was always like, remember, babe, you gotta rinse off the dishes
Oh,
before you put
boy.
them in the dishwasher. The dishwasher doesn't have a garbage disposal, he would say to her. And that was pretty
I don't know why,
rough.
but throwing in the babe part
Yeah.
really makes
Yeah.
it like condescending.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a direct quote, but I remember him on more than one occasion having a public talk with her about
no.
rinsing off the dishes because if you're going to put them in the dishwasher.
It seems like I never rinse them off.
Oh no, definitely not. I didn't have the heart to tell him that though.
Aw, it's all this time it was you.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't even her.
Why
It's
is
like
the
it was
dishwasher
us
always
thing.
clogged up? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Yeah, it was
It
all
was
me.
Hudson the whole time. Oh, that's awful.
Well, I've got a few more roommate stories for myself, but I also want to hear everyone else's. So text in 8772 RadioU. We'll come back with a few coming up next.
And you should maybe check with your roommate. Be like, well, what is it about you? that
Yeah.
you didn't
Yeah.
know? Which one are
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
hate about me? Just be honest.
I'm sure people have a ton of roommate stories about me that I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
I need to hear more of Hudson's, and this is not all for on air, but he was
Yeah.
telling me about the guy who lived in the living room.
Yeah, he lived in. I really can't tell too much about him, but he lived, and it's just sad because Well, okay. He doesn't really have any of the like, oh man, this guy is crazy, but just the whole package of this guy was pretty weird.
Sure.
And so he lived on an air mattress in the living room.
How much do you think he would pay for rent?
Oh man.
Too much if you're living on an air mattress.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
care how much you're paying. It's too much.
It was
that should
weird
be
because
free?
Yeah, it should be
I don't
free.
know if he was working at any point during the time where he lived with us. So I also don't know that he was paying rent. You know what I mean? Like maybe,
sure.
but I also don't have no clue because I was renting from the guy who actually rented the apartment. I was like I guess you call that sublease or whatever.
Yeah, subleasing.
So I don't know how he would be friends with the guy on the air mattress, but he was there before I was. So I don't know. But the air mattress guy, I remember him, he would try to get like people to sign up for his, he was trying to start a personal training business. Oh. And so he had these like super not great flyers that he made up, and they had pictures of SpongeBob doing the weightlifting thing.
Oh,
like,
no.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that. And
That one I don't think took off. I don't think that business
for
really
some
took
reason,
off.
I don't think he's doing personal training.
So could you go in the living room, or since he lived in the living room?
Yeah, I could, but it was kind of
didn't.
uncomfortable.
He did not.
Yeah, right. But what was difficult was the kitchen, because the kitchen and the living room were like the same room.
Yeah.
The kitchen and dining room. So anytime you had to cook, go to the fridge, anything, you had to go out there, and you just didn't know what you were going to see because it's air mattress guy that you know, like what's air mattress guy going to be doing?
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a little weird. But
No, that's more than
Yeah.
it's a lot weird.
It's more than a little
But
weird.
again, he doesn't have I don't have any crazy stories about him, but I do have, and maybe this one isn't crazy either, but the roommate that I had in college, I only lived with him because it was broadcasting school. I only went to school for 6 months, so I only lived with him for 6 months, which was enough. Because although he's a very nice guy, he was like just a little more, I don't know, he had a very close relationship with his mom. And so
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I want to hear what is.
Yes.
It was the weirdest thing I remember him doing is there was one night he had this girl he liked. Him and the girl went out. It was a Sunday night. They go to this concert, like somewhat near our apartment, but probably, a while away. At 9 p.m., his mom either texts or calls him and says, like, hey, where are you tonight? What are you up to? And he's like, I'm out at this concert and whatever. And his mom says, well, tomorrow's a school day. It's you got to be back at the apartment. Like, you better get enough sleep for school. And so 9 p.m., my roommate with the girl he likes, he leaves her at the concert because his mom texted him and heads back to the apartment, takes the bus back to the apartment.
No.
Misses the headliner of the concert, leaves the girl stranded there, and gets back so he can get a good night's sleep because his mom told him to.
It was so great meeting you, but my mom really said I needed to get home tonight.
Yeah. So that was that was where I knew he was from a different world. I told my mom that story, and she's like, even I wouldn't expect, I would expect you to lie. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I'm in my bed right now. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to sleep.
Getting a very good night's sleep, not at a concert. No.
Yeah. So he was a unique. He also made like the biggest pot of ramen. Like he would get the 12-pack of ramen and make the whole thing for one meal. I don't know how much money you're saving if you're doing it that way, but I guess if it's filling you up, it's all good. And he was notorious for clogging the toilets at the house.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
now that's the worst yet.
That was the only part that really affected me.
Sure.
That
Why
was
would
pretty
he just
crazy.
call his mom then and come
Yeah.
back?
Yeah, I know.
Come fix the toilet, Mom.
You know that we aren't best friends with any of our previous roommates if we feel comfortable talking about them on
Yeah,
air,
that's
because
right.
that means they do not listen to us speak on here.
Yeah.
One of the things for me too, my roommate and I, for right now, for the most part, agree upon everything. We don't really have any terrible things about each other. But I know one thing that I do that makes him really upset that I am bad about, and I will soak this because I know I am, is I will leave leftovers in the fridge for too long. I know I will. Things that are probably have gone bad. That is the one thing that I'm bad about because I think things are good for longer than they are. I'm like, oh, well, this smoke is only a couple days expired. It's probably fine. He'll smell it. He'll be like, dude, come on. He's like, I'm always throwing away your stuff. So that is the one thing that I know I'm bad about.
That is still not compared to Hudson's life.
Yes,
think
exactly.
Right.
Yes.
That's no living room guy.
Yeah, I don't sleep in the living room.
Oh my gosh. Well,
you have a good roommate situation when you have your own room.
yes, that's a good
the standard we're setting up. The bar is low. If you have your own bedroom, that means your roommate's kind of like you.
You're doing good.
8772 Radio U if you want to text in with a good roommate story.
The words too expensive aren't in Nikki's vocabulary. This is The Riot. Radio U.
Okay, I hate to do this, but I was thinking more about the Hawkeye
Here we
thing.
go. Here we go. We're never going to get to talk about this. We're never going to get there.
What if it's not the sound effects guy? What if it's the director and they're actually, and he or she, I don't know, is coaching the actors
to do this?
And so it's not sound effects. He's like, all right, I really want this time. I really want to hear you sip. I want to know you have a teacup in your hand.
I want to feel
I really
it.
want to know that, like, everybody should know to, feel it. I want people to be able to feel it in their ears that you're drinking.
Hudson has an issue with the new Hawkeye show that they slurp too much and make too much noise from people drinking during it.
And he's like, cut. You didn't slurp loud enough.
I think
Come on.
You're overthinking it.
Way
I definitely
overthinking.
am.
Way
I definitely
overthinking
am.
it. No
All
one
right.
else has even noticed this except for Hudson. He's
All
the
right.
only one.
You know what? Cut.
Yeah, okay.
Cut and
let's
start
do-
over. It is The Riot on Radio U. Isaiah, you're a man, right? Would you consider yourself a man or
I
more
consider
of a boy?
myself a man, yeah.
You're not a boy?
No longer a boy. I am a full-fledged man.
This is a big question. Rate your attractiveness on a scale from 1 to 10.
Well, that seems kind of messed up to do live on air. I give myself a 10. No,
Are you
I'm
not
joking.
supposed to rate yourself?
You're not supposed to rate yourself. No, you're not supposed to rate yourself.
Why not?
Because it's not a true reflection of yourself. Everybody, you don't even see what you actually look like. You know,
Yeah,
when you look
but
in the mirror, you don't even see yourself. You don't even know what you look like.
It reflects a
Well,
combination
you
of
do,
your...
but do you mean like emotionally?
Yeah,
and like
the full
truly?
thing.
Yeah.
Like, I look at Hudson right now, and when he looks at himself in the mirror,
Yeah.
that's not what he sees. You know, everybody sees something different. And so when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, dang, I look good today. And then I walk in, you guys are like, whoa, Isaiah, rough morning.
he's like 10.
Yeah.
I look at myself in the mirror and I think Kevin Smith.
Oh,
100%.
no. Actually,
That's all I can think now.
It's not you when you look at the mirror. It's when everybody looks at
else
you.
is
Yeah.
seeing.
And then
Yeah,
you
so
see
I'm
that.
aligning what I see. But no, I think rating yourself publicly, it shows a combination of your confidence and your self-awareness. And your confidence and self-awareness should meet somewhere in the middle, and that will be your personal attractiveness rating. But we have a poll here commissioned by Super Drug Online Doctor. So
I think Superdrug is like a pharmacy store.
Yeah, it sounds like
in the UK.
But it does also sound super sketchy.
Yes,
at
it
the same
does.
time.
Super drug.
Yeah.
Super drug.
And so they asked a bunch of men how they would rate their own attractiveness. And I'll tell you that the average man, so across all of the ratings, the average man gives himself a 5.9
out of 10?
out of 10. So that's above average.
That's above average. If you're above a 5'9",
The average man thinks he's better than average.
Well, you can't be a 10 like Isaiah every day.
No,
Well,
not
listen,
everyone can be an
That was
Isaiah.
a joke. I wouldn't rate myself a 10. That'd be so disrespectful if I rated myself a 10. But
Right,
I
you should
would
rate
rate
yourself
myself.
much higher.
I would rate myself above a 5.9. So I
would?
do. Yes, I would rate
So
myself above a 5.9.
you think you're above average?
I think I'm above
You're
a
not
5.
just you're not just above
5.9
average,
is a
you're
low
above the
rating.
average.
That's a low rating. 5'9", I feel like that's a lower rating. So I feel like guys rate themselves low sometimes.
You think they're not cutting themselves?
Yeah.
But if the scale is 1 to 10, then 5 should be the average.
No, that's not
And
average.
half of men should be lower than a 5. Maybe I'm lower than a 5. Maybe
Well,
I should admit that.
you
But my
haven't said-
confidence is high, sky high. So
I
that
just
brings
like,
up
I might be a 5, but gosh darn it, I feel like a 9.
I'm more than a 10. So wait, what number would you give?
for myself.
Yeah.
See, I think like if in my Kevin Smith body, I guess I'm like a 4.
What?
But
Then don't feel bad. You're just slightly under average.
yeah,
So
I don't know.
it's not
I don't know.
bad.
I know. I want to be. If I'm super like self-reflective about it, I know I need to lose my gut. I've got a paunch going on.
You're fine.
But and I don't have a great haircut. But other than that, I think I'm
Hey, you got
I'm
good
mostly
hair.
okay.
What are you saying?
You got good hair.
Yeah, but it's not. I got good hair. I don't have a good haircut.
Okay, that's on you because you're lazy.
Yeah, right.
Hudson made this segment just so he could rate himself low, so we'd hype him up. He's like, yeah, I'd probably give myself like a 4. Me and Nick are like, no, you're higher than a 4, Hudson. You are.
Well, they say that in this study that the mirror is the biggest enemy that you guys might have in your homes because 40% say that looking in the mirror is the top cause of your body insecurity issues.
Yeah, I think it's funny how they
health and social media follow. So
they make it seem like the average man, like all of these men they surveyed, the average rating was 5.9, which is again that's higher than a 5. That means the average man sees himself as above average. And yet they're saying, like, how can men be, like, they're not confident at all. They have these body issues. It's like, yeah, we all think we look pretty good, evidently.
Yeah, I think so. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So it doesn't matter what you think you are. It's what she thinks you are.
We can all be at 5.9 to somebody, right?
Exactly.
So for men, they say that what's like attractive, usually it's the superhero body type sort of thing.
That's
so
the
with
perception,
that,
right?
The perception is Captain America is the hottest, followed by the Batman body type, Thor, Superman, and then Wolverine.
Gotcha. So if you go to RadioU Riot on Facebook, you can see that. If you look at me and Hudson, you can check that out there.
The Captain America.
The Captain America.
I just hide mine behind the baggy hockey jersey.
Yeah.
Well, we can't have too much attractiveness.
Yeah, I don't want to make everybody else feel. I don't want to lower the rating, other people's rating by seeing me
sense.
and comparing themselves.
You're so attractive on the outside and the inside too, right there. Look at that.
Yes, that's totally right.
You guys feel good enough now?
Oh, we feel great.
Okay, just don't look in the mirror no
The
more.
Riot's like a 5'9". We're a 5'9" kind of group.
We average out.
Just perfect.
While Isaiah is wishing for a girlfriend, Nikki and Hudson are just wishing for any friend at all. The Riot. Radio U.
See, on Fridays, what I like to end the show with is, just like it's kind of like a friendship test. We've done this a couple times in the past, and like you're a true friend to someone when like they have food on their face and you would like tell them, right? And so yesterday, after like 4 hours of work, I realized that I had my zipper down for the entire morning. For the entire morning, because I have this one pair of jeans that I have.
Yeah.
Where
Do they
like
have a bad zipper?
the zipper's bad on them, and so sometimes like I don't even know how I don't zip it up because they're bad. But apparently I didn't zip it up, and I knew for a fact exactly when I went to the bathroom in the morning was like at like 7 a.m. And then the next time I went to the bathroom was at like 11, and I walked in there, and then I retraced my whole day. Yeah. I'm like, well, who did I see yesterday? I saw Nikki. I saw Hudson. I talked to Michael. I'm like, and I going through everybody that I talked to. I'm like, dang, either nobody noticed.
No one told you?
Or they're just like, we're going to have to let this one roll. We're going to have to let this go. Isaiah's been doing it all morning. And
I don't know. I feel
it's
like
the rounds.
Should we consult the handbook? Like, do you
I
just
know.
let it go?
Yeah, what is
one of those things?
protocol on this? I will say, first, for starters, my jeans are the exact same way. It's a bad zipper. I know for a fact that I zip it up, and sometimes I think it's just the way you sit or something.
Yep.
The zipper will undo itself. I've had the same issue. And I've
why
never
don't
thought
you
about
guys
everybody not
be-
telling me that it's down
You
because
should
I know
be
that's happened too.
accountability partners.
We
with
should
that.
be.
Do we just need to like
Every time
once
Hudson
in a-
walks by, I do a quick check. I'm like, you're good. Keep on walking. You're good.
If it makes you feel better, I went to a business yesterday after work, and I had a cookie, and I had cookie on my shirt.
No.
And I came home, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Arguably, that's more embarrassing.
Yes.
It was like right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
It's
I will-
obviously cookie.
I will let you know also, Isaiah, I did not notice
Did
that
not
you had
notice.
an issue. And I want to ask you, because again, I've had the same issue. Would you prefer people to point it out?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You would?
And how?
I would.
Because I've always heard, like, what's the phrase? The barn door.
Barn door's open.
Is that what we want? Or
I
do
think
we want something
now that we've
else?
addressed it, I think we just need to say, like, it's down again.
Yeah.
The Thursday, Isaiah. It's 3 days in a row now.
Now that we have brought it up, I think
Change your
I think
pants.
we can be accountability partners since we have similar issues. But honestly, I prefer if people don't point it out.
Just
normally.
let it roll.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't
You
want to
let it
know.
roll?
I'll just let it roll.
Oh, no, I'd rather be told. I'd rather than be like, Isaiah, what are we doing? Come on now. Let's clean it up here. We're at work. We're at work now.
It's a professional. Okay,
Yeah.
so all
You know,
right.
I've had it's happened to me once before here at work. It was Chris. He said, XYZ. And I was like, what?
What?
Examine your zipper.
man.
So that could be the code word too. I don't know.
So
I don't know if you want to go
I
with
sat
that.
in my office for a couple minutes yesterday, walking through my day, and I'm like, dang, I wonder if anybody noticed. Or they were like,
Yeah.
it's one of those awkward things too. Like, do I say it? And you're like, let it go. But then when you see them again, you're like, it's still down.
Yeah,
I should have told
Actually,
them.
that's a good point. If you see him twice.
Second time, you gotta say
zipper
something.
down once, shame on me. Zipper down twice, shame on you.
Well, and
Yep.
also, if you're around us, tell Isaiah, but don't tell Hudson. He doesn't care.
No,
Yeah.
I care. I'm more embarrassed if you notice and tell me than if I just
Aw.
notice on my own. Because then I can talk myself into nobody noticed.
They did.
They always notice.
Sorry, Isaiah.
They always notice.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
I have an article here from Vice. Vice, I'm not going to go too in depth, but basically what they are proposing at Vice is that using gifs is something old people do and not something that, the current generation. If you want to be cool nowadays, you do not use gifs.
I love a good GIF, though.
You're a giffer?
I'm not a giffer, but there's a time and a place for a GIF, and if you insert a GIF at the appropriate time, it can hit so well.
I was thinking about this, and I might kind of agree with Vice here.
You think it's for old people?
I think it might be. I think I'm too young. I'm too young, too cool, too hip to use gifs.
to use a GIF?
Yeah.
No, come on.
Gifs are so 2018.
Oh my gosh! I feel like if it's used like mainly in a group message, if
Yeah.
you toss in a GIF in a group message, and you've used a GIF recently.
When?
In our group message with me, you and Nikki, you've recently
Well,
used a GIF.
I know you guys like them, so
Okay.
I was just playing to the audience.
Okay, because a boomer is what age group? Is that like in the 50s?
Boomers are at least late 50s, years old, not year born.
So we're thinking that that's the age group that uses GIFs. I feel like that's like that. I feel like everybody can use a GIF. It
What do you
shouldn't be just
mean?
held to the boomers.
Well, you know the saying though, okay boomer.
Yeah,
And
I know.
so that doesn't literally mean that you're from a baby boomer generation person. It just means, hey, you're sounding old with what you're saying. At least that's how I interpret it. And if you're using a GIF, that's an okay boomer moment.
Hey, if you
That's what
use
I
a
think.
GIF, I approve of your GIF using, as long as you're using it yet again in an appropriate time. Don't be the person who tosses out GIFs like free, like
Constantly?
There is a too much GIF. But if you just slide it in there every now and then I like that. I like it. There's
Well,
good ones.
You know what? Maybe what has left GIFs behind in part is if you go on TikTok, which is what's cool now, at least unless something has come along that's even cooler than TikTok that we don't even know about yet. TikTok is where the cool people are. And a lot of uncool too, but you can't use GIFs. Can you use GIFs on TikTok? If you can, I've never seen anybody do it.
No, I don't
in
think
like
you
the
can.
comment section.
No, you cannot use a
Yeah,
GIF.
so why would on the coolest platform, if you can't even use a GIF, that means it's not cool.
See, I can't keep up with what's supposed to be cool and what's not cool. Like,
Yeah, we can tell.
oh, be quiet. Enough. Okay, they say like some people think emojis are out too now. I don't know if you've heard that.
Well, how can you? Emojis are constantly changing, constantly updating. So the typical emojis, yes, but
am I using the right ones? I don't even know.
if you are. I don't know if you are. I think
like
you need
the wrong
you're-
laughy face.
I think you need to do some research. Yeah, I think you need to look up what the current emojis you should be using are.
See, I don't
Because
think
you're
I
probably
should-
saying stuff you don't even realize what the emojis you're putting out.
I feel like I shouldn't be judged off of my emoji usage, GIF usage. I'm just trying to have fun when I send my text messages. You
Yeah.
know what? Maybe I'll use nothing
Well, that's
at all.
what a boomer would say.
Okay.
Why do I have to be cool? Why can't I just have fun?
I'm just having fun in my
online?
own little way.
Yeah.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Now, I love this story because it has just enough detail where we know what happened. We know the basic story, but there's so much that we don't know, and it's just left up to your imagination. This is in Thornhurst, Pennsylvania, where one man was arrested because he's technically allegedly beat another person with a metal skillet.
Oh, no.
Now, why did he beat another man with a metal skillet, allegedly? Because the other person would not accept his offer of fried potatoes.
Oh, he was mad?
He was mad. He was using that skillet. Before he was using it to beat the man, he was using it to fry potatoes.
Some people just take it as rejection.
Yeah.
Even though it's just saying no to the potatoes. But a 27-year-old guy was frying potatoes in hot oil with a metal skillet, and then he offered it to the 32-year-old victim who said no.
You know, there's some things even about the story that make it, the wording is funny, where he says the 27-year-old offered the fried potatoes to the 32-year-old victim, as if offering the potatoes is what made him the victim.
No, it set him off.
Yeah, the potatoes, I do have to question why the guy would say no to the potatoes. It sounds delicious, doesn't it?
I think the bigger issue is we don't know how he said no.
Yeah, right.
Because remember,
maybe he's like, your
very
potatoes
important.
always suck. Why would I eat the potatoes from the likes of you?
I feel like it went personal real fast, and that's when he threw the hot frying oil and the potatoes.
He became
in the guy's
suddenly
face.
enraged.
Man, so I wonder if that's like his roommate or something.
Yeah,
or,
right.
Family member or whatever.
I think it's fairly clear that there was probably something bubbling beneath the surface before.
That was the oil.
That led to this, and then maybe there was some substances involved or something like that. But another thing, and again, it's just the way they word it. It says he beat the person so hard with the skillet that the handle fell off.
You would have had to have been there.
Yeah, but it leads you to believe he beat him so hard. Oh, what? That like his nose broke or something? No, that the handle fell off the skillet. That's what we're concerned about.
And
the
listen,
skillet. I hope the skillet's okay.
I don't think we should ever be fighting like this. Like this went next level. But to me, I love anything potatoes, so I would never say no. And I think that's a safer thing.
It's really, you should, especially if somebody's got a hot skillet.
Just say yes.
Just say, yeah, you do what they say. Because you don't know what can happen.
You're like, if I say no, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
And how new is the skillet? Is the handle going to pop off?
Yeah.
Are you going to hit me with it?
Yeah, you just, I don't know. Maybe you need to start practicing some defense techniques against skillets.
I don't know. So at this point, the victim went to the hospital for a significant head injury and burns. And then the man who was the one with the potatoes, he has several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Did you guys see this video from the Golden Corral over the weekend? I mean, I know the Royal Rumble was the WWE over the weekend, but the real interesting melee action was at Golden Corral.
That's where all the best pay-per-view events happen.
Yeah, that's right. And this one is just for anybody to watch if you can find the video. It's not been easy because Facebook took it down at first. Did you see
really?
though?
Of course they did.
Actually, what I'm watching now is a ton of people, and they all have what's the baby things?
The high chairs.
The high chairs,
Yeah.
and they're all just like lifting the high chairs over their head, fighting with each other with them.
It's pretty amazing. So this was in Bensalem, Pennsylvania on Friday night.
At the Golden Corral.
The Golden Corral. I like how at least one, I have two different stories pulled up because they have different info. And one of them is like the popular buffet restaurant. Is it? I mean,
Yes.
I guess there's like 40 people there. So all
Is there a
getting
better
into a brawl.
buffet? There's no better buffet than Golden Corral.
But that doesn't mean it's good.
I think you could
Oh,
actually
what?
just say there's no other buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
no
not- it's
competition.
Poor business model. Give people all the food they want. You'll never make money that way.
So what did they say the fight started about?
So at least according to this one man who says he was there, his name is Alexis Rios. He says he was waiting at the steak station, and he ordered his steak rare, where another person was also at the steak station and ordered something else, ordered it, I don't know if it was well done or what, but ordered their steak a little differently cooked. And so when Alexis Rios got his rare steak before the other person got their steak, that's when tensions started to rise.
Oh, the person was mad because they didn't get their steak first?
They felt like they were getting shortchanged, having to wait longer than Alexis Rios. And so from there, now how does that turn into that one person confronts Alexis Rios or maybe the Golden Corral cook to 40 people are fighting with high chairs? There's a lot that goes on in between there. and that's what we don't know.
Well, they said also that masks were being worn, and that was causing it to be a bit hard to hear everybody.
Sure.
So they're blaming it on that, too. They say that just miscommunication, and before you know it, you're fighting, everybody's hungry.
Yeah.
I think that's usually the biggest thing. You're at the buffet, you're hungry, and you're mad.
Yeah, they're out of the thing you wanted, and
you didn't get your steak fast enough.
Your steak is too slow. Yeah, so all of a sudden you're getting hit over the head with a high chair.
Isaiah, have you been to Golden Corral before?
I've been to Golden Corral a couple times. We used to go there a couple years ago. My lacrosse team would go there like almost every single lacrosse trip.
You ever get into a brawl?
Never got into a brawl at Golden Corral. I feel like if you get into a brawl because you didn't get your food in time at Golden Corral, like just go get something else. There's like a million things to grab there. Like if you're so upset that your steak's taking too long, just go grab some shrimp.
Well, yeah,
and just let it hold you over.
But it's not about the steak.
You say that.
It's not about the steak.
What's it about then?
It's about the principle of you were there first. Why should that guy get a steak?
You ordered it well done. It's going to take longer. That's a sin anyway. If you ordered your steak well done, then you're in the wrong as is.
They say no one really got hurt. Someone got a bruise and a black eye and a lifted nail. Like your fingernail?
They reported that one.
Yeah.
How about my nail's lifted? It's messed up.
For insurance purposes.
Yes, of course.
Investigation's still ongoing. So far, no one's been arrested. But next time you go to the Golden Corral, just remember...
wear a helmet.
Wear a helmet with your mask, and ordering your steak, just be aware around you in case someone gets mad.
Order it rare because it's the right thing to do, and it'll come to you faster.
I would just cover myself with what's the rolls that they have.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
if anybody punches you, you're like, it just bounces right
yeah,
off.
I think they'd provide a nice cushion.
Just put some butter
and then you can
on
eat
it.
them afterwards.
Yeah.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
Now, of course, Valentine's Day. It is. It's coming up on Monday, and we've talked about how there's all those zoos that will let you get revenge on your ex by naming a cockroach after them, and that's something where I always think you're like, maybe you just need to let it go. Maybe
don't tell the person that.
I think
not yet.
that person. What the old saying? They're living in your head rent free.
Aww.
If you're naming a cockroach after them, taking up space in your head, and you don't need that. So let it go. But this is actually revenge.
Tell them to let it go and see how that goes.
It's not going to help. What is it?
Suddenly, every zoo's like, why are all these cockroaches called Hudson? You're the one not in favor.
Oh, come on. Why is that going to make you feel better? It's not hurting the other person.
Everybody heals in different ways.
If you want to get revenge, you actually do something that puts
Bigger?
it on the other person. Yeah. And so this is great. There are sheriff's departments across the country that are calling on you if you've got an ex that you don't like and you think maybe they have some outstanding warrants.
Oh, you could
Maybe
call?
they might be driving around with drugs in their car.
Oh, my gosh.
Why don't you report them? And that can be your revenge, and that'll be some revenge right there.
That's fantastic. That's like the real stuff. That means they really made you mad.
Oh yeah, and you probably shouldn't have been with them maybe in the first place.
Yeah.
This is it's so I guess a lot of police departments have been copying and pasting and then slightly altering with their own variations, like across the country, of a similar thing where it says. This Valentine's month-long special starts off with a set of limited edition platinum bracelets, free transportation with a chauffeur, a one-night minimum stay in luxurious accommodations, and professional glamour shots that will be posted online for all to enjoy.
And if you didn't catch, that means handcuffs, you stay overnight in jail, you get your mug shot, you get all the best stuff this weekend.
And you get the police escort to jail. Oh, man. So that is a way to get revenge on your ex, although, I'm not saying that you shouldn't report them, because if they have outstanding warrants, you probably should. But what happens when they get out of jail? And then they know you did it.
Well, they don't necessarily know. They might have their suspicions, but it's not like they'll tell you at jail, oh, your ex called in.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that.
You should maybe just skip town, though, just to be safe. You
just
think?
Be out of town.
Start over, new life, new name. Then it still feels like you're the one that's getting screwed in the situation, not your ex who screwed you over.
Well, if not, why don't you just enjoy this weekend? And I'm sure they'll get caught anyways.
Yeah.
Eventually.
No, we can't say that.
What do you mean?
You can't just say, I'm sure they'll get caught anyways.
Well,
if you see something, say something.
Yeah, but if they have a warrant
If everybody does what you're saying, then all these criminals get to run free.
Okay.
You need to report if they're driving around with drugs in their car.
All right. Thank you, Hudson, for this very important
Even
reminder.
if it might cost you something once they get set free and they track you down to exact their revenge.
You have this weekend all planned for everybody.
Right.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
You know what I haven't asked you in a while?
What?
How's Jim doing? We haven't heard about him.
Jim, his dog.
Yeah, Jim the dog. That's
Jim's
right.
been pretty good as of late. In the last month or so, I mean, the main issue we had for a long time was the whole pooping, peeing in the house thing.
Yeah,
causing
that's an issue.
issues.
For dogs, that's the main thing.
Yeah. So that's one of the big things. Then once you figure that out, then it's pretty
You're
cool.
good.
Yeah.
So Jim hasn't done that in a month. Fantastic. Incredible. Ever since I put him in the crate, he's been so good.
For every other dog, it's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
month is nothing.
Exactly. But for Jim, it was he was averaging 1.6 poop/pees in the house a day for every day. And so now that he's in the crate, he's been so much better. But
When you're not home and he's in there, yeah.
Yes, of course. And so, but whenever there's a big event, the Super Bowl, you're running behind, all of a sudden, there always has to be a little slip up that's in the way.
Uh-oh.
And so yesterday, I'm running around trying to get things ready for the game. Of course, I'm running behind, trying to get to a friend's house. And I get home, and I'm letting Jim out of his crate. Because I'm getting ready to leave, and so I'm trying to be quick. I open the door to my bedroom where his crate is. He is not in the crate.
Oh, did he get out?
Escaped from the crate. I have no idea how, but he has also figured out how to open my closet door.
Oh, no.
I don't know how, but my clothes are scattered everywhere across my room. Almost every single article of clothing I have is just scattered across the room. But Jim doesn't tear it up. He just likes to pick it up, drag it, drop it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere across my room. That would be bad enough. If that was the end of the story, that'd be bad enough. But he not only dragged it across my room, but my clothes are covered in Jim poop.
Oh, no.
He had pooped all over my clothes.
Dude, Jim is trying to send you a message because him running around with your clothes, that's your smell and stuff, so he probably misses you. But then him pooping on it is telling you something.
He's like, you know what? And so then I'm like, Jim. And he hasn't seen me in a couple hours, so he's not sad.
Sure.
He's excited. He's hyped up. He's like, Dad's home. Let's rock and roll.
He doesn't remember what he's done.
No, and so then I'm like, Jim, are you kidding me right now? I'm trying to leave to get ready. I'm cleaning this all up. So I put him out in the living room. I'm cleaning it all up, right? And then so I throw it all in the washer right away. I'm yet again running behind for the Super Bowl, trying to get there as quickly as I can. So I put Jim outside to go to the bathroom, and in my backyard, it's not fenced in. It's just I hook him on one of those stake things in the ground. I hook him in there. So I go outside to let him back in. And typically, when I unhook him, and he'll just walk back in the house.
Yeah.
No big deal at all. I'll say go home, and he'll go home. Yesterday, for whatever reason, causing issues, I unhook him to go back in the house, and he stares at me. And when he stares at me, I know I am in trouble. He just darts. He starts sprinting around. I'm like, no, Jill. I'm like, you just pooped in the house. There's poop everywhere. I'm running behind, trying to get him. So then I'm running around chasing him outside, and it's slick out there. I finally corner him. And then he knows he has no other way to go but to go through me. So he runs into me. I try to grab him, fall down on the ice.
No!
And then I'm yelling now. The neighbors are hearing me yelling at Jim. I'm just like, whatever. I go inside. I'm like, hopefully he's still out there when I come back out. And I go and grab some treats, and that was the end of that.
Then he runs in.
But so yesterday,
That's good.
Jim was in
Reward him
trouble.
for his bad behavior.
Precisely. So I was like, Jim, get in here. And I hold the treats up, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I know how to go home. All of a sudden. And so
knew
that was
all
Jim's
along.
Super Bowl story yesterday.
So when you let him back in, when you led him back in with the treats, did you actually give him any?
Heck no, I didn't give him a treat.
All right. That's
No
good.
chance.
That's
He just
good.
pooped on everything. And he was, this is how bad he was. He was supposed to go to the Super Bowl party. He got invited over because they had dogs there as well.
Yeah.
He did not get to go.
Oh.
Jim was grounded last night. He stayed at the house. Said, you know what, Jim? You want to break out of your crate? You want to poop
Yeah.
my clothes? You want to knock me down outside? You get to hang out here tonight. It's a solo night for you.
I like how your dog doesn't know. It's like, did I just get grounded? Your dog
He has no idea. He didn't even know he was going over there.
The first place.
I do have to question. I have to go back to the idea of Jim somehow got out of his crate and somehow opened the closet door. What are the odds that you just left both of those?
I'm telling you, I did not. I would never.
Hey, it's too soon to bring that up.
Yes, this was not my fault,
we all know
Hudson.
it was his fault.
I feel like that's a really reasonable explanation.
The closet door, like that is very easy for him to open. So he can pretty much open that whenever he wants somehow. And
Yeah.
so,
Is his nose?
But the crate, I don't know how he escaped from the crate because it's double locked. Like I take my time making sure he's in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yesterday, I mean, yet again, he's a gremlin. He's a squirrel. He just
Listen.
figures out how to get out of places.
Jim had to get out of the crate because he had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. He
I'm
couldn't
not
hold
gonna
it
poop in
anymore.
here.
Yeah.
Come on, Dad.
I just want I want you to film every time you go home. I just
my
want,
gosh.
I just want you to make a little clip every time just to show what it's like to walk in with your dog.
You have a security camera for your backyard and everything.
I
so we
need
can
to- I
see
need
you
to get
chasing him
one.
around.
So you guys can see, because when I open that door, Jim just, I mean, obviously clothes everywhere, poop everywhere, just looks at me. And I'm just like,
home.
dude,
Well,
are you
I wouldn't want to
joking?
go into the poop and clothes room either.
Yeah,
so
he
I don't
turns to
blame
me
him.
and he's jumping up on me. I know he has poop on his paws. He's jumping up on me. I'm like, Jim, get down and get the heck out of here.
Well, remember, you do that again, you're not going to the Super Bowl party.
No parties for Jim. Homebody is.
Someone got grounded.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
You know, when you're a kid, it's weird the things you're afraid of, right?
Sure.
You have any weird ones from when you were a kid?
Gosh, I mean, probably a bit nervous about the dark.
Yeah, right?
Maybe. And I never liked to have my door like closed and like be away from it.
Okay.
So you just always wanted to see if something was coming.
Yeah, I get that. I get that
But
still.
I think that's about it.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty sensible for
Is
a
it?
child.
Yeah, I
think
tried
so.
to be.
Yeah, I think you carry that into your adult life.
Thank you.
But you know, for a lot of kids though, especially the younger you are, you're afraid of the most random stuff. It's really inexplicable, and it seems that as you grow up and become an adult, that you kind of leave that behind. But let's be honest. The truth is, we're still afraid of things that we know full well. Like, I mean, think about all the people that are afraid of getting on planes. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense because you can even tell the people. I mean, that's what phobias are, right? They're fears of things where even if you get the logical explanation of, don't worry, you don't have to be afraid of this thing because
You're still afraid.
Yeah, you're still afraid. And the fears change as you go through life, but there's still definitely fears. And the fears make no sense. But even as much as you can understand and have all this knowledge, it doesn't mean your fear is going to go away. Here's what's crazy. God says that he will give you so much peace that you don't have, that you will be, he says peace that's beyond understanding. Basically, all the knowledge in the world can't stop you from being afraid of some things, but God can. Jesus loves you so much and has the power that when he's a part of your life, he can take away the fear and the anxiety that even all of the knowledge in the world cannot. God can give you something that nothing else can. So if you're tired of being afraid of something or worrying about stuff that even though in your mind you know, I shouldn't have to worry about this, it doesn't make sense that I worry about this, or maybe it's stuff that is legitimately stuff you should worry about. Either way, God can help you so that you don't have to worry so much. He can do that when nobody else can. And he's ready to do it right now for you. All you need to do is ask. Say, hey, God, I've got stuff I'm concerned about. I've heard all the explanations. I've heard all the stats or whatever that I should be fine, but I can't stop worrying. I need you to help me with that. And Jesus will. If you want to know more, check out radiou.com/free gift.
Hudson and Isaiah seem like they know a lot about sports, yet somehow it's Nikki that always gets it right. The Riot, Radio U.
So, Nikki, imagine for a moment that you were single.
Yeah.
And you were perusing a dating app.
Sure.
You were looking through all the men on there.
Sure.
And they were all holding fish.
Fish? Did I find myself onto a fishing app accidentally?
Well, I mean, I think this is just probably a fantasy you probably have going through a regular dating app.
Oh, no.
You just want to find the guy with the... What I want to ask you is, which fish would be the big winner for you?
Oh, like
in the pictures.
Okay, I would probably say if someone was more like deep sea fishing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so if it was like, what's the one with the thing that can like impale somebody?
The marlin?
Yeah,
a
like
marlin?
that. Yeah.
Is that what that's called?
Or like a shark that they then put back and didn't scare it.
Scare it.
Because I don't like people that do the catch and release.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, man, the fish already thought he was gone. Like, just leave it alone.
Yeah. That would be crazy to go through life as a fish.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And like normally everything's just fine, but one day you just get pulled out of the water somewhere you've never been just because you were eating something.
Someone's taking pictures
What
of you.
a way to live.
So.
Well, fortunately, we have a website called FishBrain, which, and if you didn't know, it's a social networking app for fishermen.
Oh, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, well, obviously. And FishBrain asked, now it's a small sample size, but they asked 235 members of the Virginia Tech chapter of the Tri Delta sorority. Mm-hmm. They wanted them to rate different dating pictures with different fish that people had caught
to see what was more attractive.
To see which fish were the best for dating pictures. And the number one fish on the list was not a marlin, like you said. It was the hogfish.
What's a hogfish?
I don't even know what a hogfish is. It must be really attractive.
I'm looking it up now.
Okay. You find that and tell me what you think of it.
Oh, it's big, but it's weird looking.
It is?
Oh, yeah. I think it's weird.
Oh, wow. Who even
know,
fishes for that?
I don't even know how to describe it.
Wow.
I've never had a hogfish.
That's huge. No wonder. If you can catch that, I've never even heard of that.
But it's impressive because it's such an impressive looking fish.
You think it's called a hogfish because it kind of looks like a hog?
Yeah, it's pinkish, so it looks like a pig.
Wow. So that is if you're going on a fishing trip.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you get a picture for your dating profile you got to find the hogfish. Number 2 on the list, it was the queen snapper.
It's the same color.
And if you're looking for the last place, the fish you want to avoid putting in your dating profile, the striped bass.
Aww.
So there you have it.
Do you think I could join the dating fish app?
FishBrain?
When my only fishing experience has been an Animal Crossing? Like, guys,
I think that's its whole own app.
I could totally put my picture of my Animal Crossing character with a fish. I could totally do that as my profile.
I think you'd still get a lot of messages. I think you definitely...
They'd be very curious.
Definitely would. I would have never... I'm not a fisherman, but I wouldn't even have considered, like... If I was making a dating profile and I was thinking, okay, what do women want? I wouldn't think fish picture.
No.
I would not think, but I don't know. I guess in different parts of the country, or just for different women, like that just shows something. It shows something that you're I don't know, patient. That right? If you're a fisherman, you probably are patient.
It does seem
and that could be good for a relationship, maybe.
It does seem like that's what that's saying. But whatever you want to do, that's fine.
Yep.
And if you're into fishing and you want to meet someone who is also someone who shares your excitement about
for fishing,
then,
for hogfish.
Yeah, you want to find a dating thing that'll help with that.
What they did not do is put people's pictures side by side with and without a fish, and then see which is more attractive.
We would say rate and review the podcast, but let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
What is this TikTok that you found, Nikki?
I actually thought it was kind of funny at first, and then when you get into it, you're like, oh well, this might not be healthy.
Yeah. Oh, that's the impression I'm getting.
And initially when I saw it too, I was like, oh, is this like if you wanted to do, who's the finance guy? The Dave Ramsey. Like the cash envelope system.
Okay.
And then again, as I got into it, I was like, oh no, it's not that.
I think even Dave Ramsey is like, please don't include me in this.
Please. I have nothing to do with this. This is not positive. But Isaac Ramirez has found some fame on TikTok leading up to Valentine's Day because he decided last year to set aside a certain amount of cash, and that was $360. Mm-hmm. Then throughout the year, he took money out if is it fiance or girlfriend?
Yeah, it says fiance, I think.
If his fiance yelled at him, then $1 was taken away. And through the TikTok, you'll see at the end that left him with $40 left Out of the $360.
320 days she yelled at him.
At least once during the day.
Man, I wonder, and so, I mean, she probably didn't know about this.
I don't think she did.
But after that'd just make me, after I yelled once, then I'd just be like, well, the floodgates are open.
Now
yelling
you
at you all
ruined
day
it.
long, yeah.
So people are kind of conflicted as to, is this showing red flags?
Who's in support of it?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, there's different types of yelling. Do you mean like voice raised? Are you fighting? Because when I think yelling, I think fighting.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think it was quite
Or
that.
not even fighting, just like they're so upset with you that they're going to yell at you. It definitely... There's a lot of red flags along the way.
But then people were saying, well, what was he doing to have her so upset?
Well, that
so
doesn't
many
really
days?
matter. It doesn't really matter. Even if he is doing stupid stuff that he deserves to get, that is wrong, it doesn't mean that it's healthy for anybody for him to just sit there and continue to be yelled at and continue doing things.
Yeah, but okay, wait. What if no. Hang on. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I think it's a partnership to be angry at each other.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's constantly doing something, again, they're not telling how much is the yelling? Is it fighting? There's different levels to that.
But if she's so mad to yell at him all the time, and it's not, and she did it 320 days, and his behavior hasn't changed. That's not good for either of them. The yelling's not helping him, and he's not helping her by making her angry all the time.
And it doesn't say, I did not catch where the money went to, or did he just keep the rest of it?
He put the $320 in an envelope that says, treat yourself, King.
So at this point, she got flowers and chocolates. So he started with the $360 and then, said that she yelled at him. And that ended up after taking $1 away each day with $40 left.
Can we also add in the idea that just the sheer fact that he's posting this on TikTok is a red flag there? That he's willing to shame his girlfriend, his fiance, on TikTok also shows another unhealthy tendency in the relationship.
It can be, unless it's more like lighthearted than we realize, and he's just making it more dramatic.
You think she yelled at him about this?
Probably.
Something tells me.
If I found out with that, then you would just go ahead and throw away the last $40 for one big fight.
Yep. Oh, yeah, 100%.
So that was the new TikTok that was getting a lot of traction on him, who was deducting money every day that he got yelled at.
I get the maybe initial thought process, and even the, maybe as an experiment, maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, does she really yell at me, or am I, maybe I'm being too hard? And then you start deducting the money, but then you just break up. You don't have the 20, you don't give her the $40 Valentine's gift.
They've not done that yet.
Or you have a tough conversation about it, at least.
They're still together.
I bet you this led to one of those.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
They just published this. It is, what they did was they got 160 students.
Yeah.
They had them each take their picture. Like they just got a mugshot style picture. I don't know what exactly they looked up like, but they got a similar
like your
picture
student
for everybody.
ID.
Yeah.
That sort of picture.
So they got a picture from 160 people. Then they had 492 people, a different set, rate those 160 people based off of their attractiveness, and then used that, the attractive ratings of all these 160 people, and kind of compared that against a bunch of other data they had from the 160 people. Get a load of this. The study revealed associations between attractiveness and immune function, particularly aspects of immune function related to efficiently managing bacterial threats. In other words, if you were more attractive...
No, don't say it. Do not give this study...
You had stronger immunity against COVID-19.
Oh, my gosh. And who in this room
and
has not
who has never had COVID-19?
That's you. That's hilarious.
I think...
You're the handsomest.
Hypothesis confirmed.
That's really funny.
Yeah, they say that... they said that... There's a lot of things that they think that there's correlations between.
Yeah.
I guess, and the tough thing is to figure out, are you attracted? Is that like something maybe subtly that people can sense subconsciously, that you have a stronger immune system and that would boost up your attractiveness rating, even though nobody would be able to say that.
I can't even take this study seriously.
Why not?
Because it doesn't make sense.
Are you saying I'm ugly?
No, but they do say that for men, it's usually especially facial attractiveness. And they say that could provide clues as to like your ability to manage if you had a viral threat.
Man, this would be bad. I'm sorry if you do have COVID and you're at home quarantining right now.
Oh, and you didn't even need to hear this.
And you're just like, man, I already have COVID and now I'm ugly too.
There's tons of people that of all varying attractiveness levels that have absolutely had COVID. So I have a hard time going with this study.
I mean, look at the Queen.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I don't even know what that means.
We said attractiveness, not powerfulness.
It could be connected.
I don't know.
It could be connected. Maybe she's doing good because of it could be the vaccine. It could be her attractiveness. It could be her power.
A multitude
her medical
of things.
treatment. I don't know.
Hey, I'm just going to close out of the study. And I know we like studies.
You don't believe
here.
it?
No, it's not that I don't believe it. I just think that, especially, yes, for those that are currently or have just recently gone through it, that's
just not what you want to hear.
Kicking them while they're down.
Yeah.
So
I
probably
guess
not
so.
the best.
I guess so. Well, you know what? It's pumping me up while I'm all. Yeah, I needed this. The coffee maker's not working, and just generally tired and stuff. You know, sometimes you just need a little pick me up.
You needed a little boost today.
I feel good about this one.
I can't believe that's an actual study.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.